Walking in Collin County to a protest. Last year's values.
Bathroom, so that's all I have right now.
Alright, we're going through all your pictures.
And I'm fighting with your warranty to come fix stuff that is still under warranty.
I'm assuming it's my turn.
Yes.
So I'm the only one left. Yes.
We're gonna break for lunch.
Okay, as long as you bring me back something, I'm fine with that.
You did have a chance, because you've been here long enough to read that pink sheet a couple of times.
Yes.
Alright. Let the record show the panel is in Allen. Notice market value $518,379. Protest reasons is market and equity. And the opinion of value is $325,000. Each ARB panel member will now sign an affidavit stating we have not communicated with another person regarding this protest.
Signatures are recorded.
All testimony must be given under oath. Do each of you swear and affirm the evidence and testimony you present is true and correct? Duffy?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you, all documents and pictures that you intend to present been uploaded?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Do either of you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraiser Licensing and Certification Board?
No.
My license is with TDLR.
You've heard we try to keep this to 15 minutes, and you have the option who goes first.
I'll go ahead and go first.
All right, let's bring up your information.
Okay, so first is just about my house. So that's the location. It's on Google Maps. You can see down at the bottom a picture of my house with the little balloon, and it just shows the amount of commercial mixed-use businesses that are next to mine and the major road, and the noise level that my property gets. And the only reason I brought this up is because the neighbor across from me, when they sold their house, they got a lot of slack for the noise from the street. So that's why I brought that one up. This is pictures for my property condition, most of them outside with the wood trim, wood rot, trim falling off. The biggest expense in the back is the pool. We had a big tree that was in, oops, that's okay. And it kind of upheavaled the flagstone. You can see all the cracks and where the coping and everything is coming, the pool is kind of off level. So you can also see on the inside foundation cracks up in the ceiling and the master and the living room, and also cracks in the driveway. And then I got a picture of the back door, just showing the trim work again, and then the plumbing issues that I have with the pool, the fountain, and the sprinkler systems. And then the next page, I have some estimates. This one is older, but we have major problems with this house with the efficiency of the windows. And I've had several people come in. The last guy came in, he said, yeah, that just the builder didn't do a good job with the windows, and that's why we are not efficient with everything, and that's why there's some clouding and things like that. So this is his estimate for completely redoing the windows and the doors. I think I showed you a picture of the back door. But that's his estimate. It is a few years old, but estimates have only gone, like way higher, and that was already extremely high to me, so I did not get another estimate for that. The next one, I did have a repair company come out, and just to give update, last year when I protested a lot of the same issues, their complaint was that my estimates were old, and I kind of told them the same thing, that the prices have only gone up. I didn't see why I needed to have it redone every year, but I went ahead and had this guy come out. Sorry, the image is not very good, but I did make them all copies, so it might be better than that picture on there. But anyway, so going through there, Pretty much it's gas line, the leaks, the patio upheaval, the trim back door, the fence. And on the next page of it is about the foundation. And the main thing with the estimates that he gave is that he suggested we have a structural engineer report so that we can identify exactly what is wrong with the foundation. He said he could fix all of these problems for that cost, but it would just be a cosmetic fix. Obviously, that would happen again because the foundation's messed up. So I did call to see how much it would be to get that, to bring here today, and it was between $600 and $2,000. And since I was upset with $35 on making copies, I did not do that. So I don't have exactly how much it would be. I know that there is repair there, so I'm just going to go with the cost that it is to do the cosmetic fix, which is, you know, not a deep down fix of the foundation. And I did look through all the other comps, and I didn't see anything in there that mentioned their house had foundation or cracks, and the pictures didn't show any of that like mine does. So anyway, so the rest of that estimate was $29,025. And then the next picture is, okay, these, I mean, y'all can, I made copies because my copies look way better than it looks on this scan, but pretty much the survey was to show the shape of my yard, you know, that it's, you know, the big curve in the line, because there was quite a few money that was given because of the size of my yard. So that was kind of to show that.
Could I interrupt you just a
Sure.
second? Handlers, can we look at those copies of print since it's been scanned?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty ham, so, but yeah, the scan looks terrible.
Well, unless we can, there's no way to keep them, so we have to.
Well, you can keep all of them. I made copies for everybody because
It's
that's
the
what.
same data that's on.
It's exactly the same. She just took the copy of my copy and scanned it. So,
I don't see why we couldn't if it's the same data that he's showing that we can't read.
I mean, from my understanding is whatever data is presented has to be presented on the screen. You may want to call in somebody to ask for certain, but that's,
Like, I couldn't see what that estimate was.
I can't read any of that.
yeah, the estimate on the, well, I mean, like I said, I gave these to her up there. She said she didn't need it because she was scanning it in, but, you know.
Ma'am, could you,
But the estimate, the long estimate that I just got was $29,025, and then the window door estimate was $82,062. So while y'all are thinking about that, yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to see the pool, and really the pool contract, the one right before that I put in there was mainly so you could see how much I paid for the pool in 2007 was $25,000. I saw a lot of different values given, you know, saying they were given $20,000, $25,000 or more to other comps that didn't have a pool to make it like mine. And I'm like, my pool was $25,000 in 2007. So it's definitely not worth that price that the appraisal was given. Okay, and you can't see on this either, but I do have one patio cover, one arbor on there. Okay, so sales comps. And the reason I said that about the arbor is because you can see, like on the first comp, if you scroll down where it says the CP for the covered patio, no idea what they're talking about. I have one. And then if I highlighted it and I put a picture below, it's because the comp had one too, but it didn't say it had one. So the values for the, and these are from the appraiser's evidence. I just took theirs and just to tell you why I did not think that those were comparable to mine. So is it okay if I use the mouse and scroll? Is that okay? Am I taking over?
no, you're
Okay. Okay, so the first comp, the first sales comp, so it sold for $500,000, and the end value that y'all ended up giving, anyway, it was increased quite a bit because of those, the lot size, and I just showed you what the lot looks like, and the pool and the covered patio. So all of those were added. So it went from 500 to like, I don't know, 520 1.5 or something is what the district raised it to from the actual sales price. And this property is, has a spa. My house doesn't. It has a pool, no spa. And this one has a kick-ass pergola you can see from the pictures that are awesome. Mine is not. I just have a straight patio cover, and this was less square feet. So again, I do not think that that was a very good sales comp for my property, and if it was going to be used, it needs to be drastically taken down, not up. Sales comp 2, they increased it from 530 to 545, and it, for pretty much the same reasons. The pool that was added and the covered patio that they were. I mean, I think I paid $3,000 for my covered patio, and they're giving like $9,000-$10,000 for these other ones. But you can see on comp 2, it also has a covered patio. And then comps 3 is a 1-story, and it does make a huge difference. A 1-story, you know, and a 2-story is a big difference. And from the copies, you can see it's been completely updated. I mean, just really cannot see from the scan at all, but I mean, it's beautiful, the updates that they did. I don't think it's comparable to my house at all. Comp 4 is a half-acre lot, and I put pictures of that below. And then these are the sales comps that I pulled from the MLS that sold, took out the ones, you know, for the reasons I mentioned before. There's still a few of the appraisers comps in there, but these are more accurate to my house. They're all in my subdivision. They're all within range of my house. And should I go ahead and just talk about the equity comps and then be done with my part? Okay. Okay, so the equity comps, this was this property tax analysis site that I went to, and I thought it was interesting that it was showing that my house was 20% higher than the neighborhood median value. So I just put that in there for y'all to see, and then I pulled from the Collin County tax the real estate of just the neighbors that are directly around me. And the only value that they give on here is, you know, the assessed value. Totally cannot read that at all, but again, in the copies, they're there, but their prices are $358, $355, $320. 346 is the end price, and that's before you even deduct any of the repairs that my house needs. So
Assessed values?
those were the assessed value.
Assessed values is net of any of
Well, the assessed,
allowances.
yeah, the assessed value is, I mean, obviously because of the homestead, which I agree mine is too, but mine's well above that. Even if it's not the price assessed value or market, you can still see that value put on my house way more than all my other neighbors. And that's for the equity and then for the sales as well.
Going over on time, so
Okay.
Glad we got to look at the pictures. Let's go, and then
Okay.
we'll discuss after he gets done.
Okay.
All right, in front of you see the district's market grid. Again, we have the subject property on the left, was built in '99, has an effective age of 2000, is 2,504 square feet. Comp number 1 sold January 30th, 2023 for $500,000. Here we do have a lot value adjustment, as well as adjustments for size and individual characteristics. Although the taxpayers seem to object to how we are applying differences in characteristics to the properties, we are visually inspecting properties. We are taking an appraiser's opinion of what they're seeing, as well as actual square footage measurements of what is there, and using the international standards of appraisal in order to value those properties, going all the way back to a cost table to get an indicated value to the subject property. The opinion of it should be up or down based on a sales price without using actual appraisal practices would not come into play when we're looking at how a sales price relates to an actual indicated value. It would be second comp, September 29th, 2022, sold for $530,000. Again, we have a lot value adjustment. This property we are showing was in a superior condition, so we are making adjustments based on It's conditioned by adjusting the depreciation table and also adjusting for the differences in size and individual characteristics to get an indicated value of $545,276. Comp number 3, sold August 12th, 2022 for $511,000. Lot value adjustment, depreciation adjustment, again, superior condition to the subject property. Adjustments for size and individual characteristics, indicated value $515,187. Comp number 4, sold October 27th for $550,000 after adjustment for all the similar to the previous, $517,304. Looking at map, the subject property is here. We have the comps in the same neighborhood. It's not directly up against a main road or commercial influences, so it does not get additional depreciation in our analysis for that reason. And looking at equity, again, this is how we appraise it compared to similar properties in the neighborhood, taking their actual market value, their appraised value, making adjustments for the differences, just like we did on the market grid. We do get an indicated value from each of those, and the median is $512,869, which is the district's revised market value of $512,869. Also, regarding the taxpayers' evidence, all of these homes were built 99 and 2000. They're 22 or 23 years old, 23, 24 years old, I'm sorry. All of them are going to have maintenance items that need to be addressed. They may not be the same maintenance items as the taxpayers' property, but they do have items that will need to be maintained, either previously or coming up, that would be similar to what the taxpayer is addressing. Again, we do not have a structural engineer's report or a foundation estimate to show that there is actually foundation issues that would require repair, and the estimate to go along with that to be able to assign a dollar amount to it. Regarding the exact price paid for a pool or a covered porch or patio that was done years ago, that does not come into play for this year's market value. We are simply looking at, when it comes to a pool, a contributory factor, so looking at the price point and class of neighborhood, saying what is typically the amount a pool contributes to value when a property is sold. We do not use you paid X number of dollars for your pool, so that means that you get X number of dollars in return whenever you do a pool. We are simply looking at how that contributes to sales prices on a whole, and the same goes for any porches or patios. Those are going back to a sales or to a cost table and being built based on the factor that properties are being sold at for the current year. So that concludes all my statements.
Can I say
Sure.
a couple things? Sorry, I know the time is ticking. Actually, I was going to say something about that grid that he had. I don't know if you can pull it back up, but the equity side, I mean, you could see on there, even for the market value, that mine is like 50,000 higher than all of those other properties that were on there. I mean, where does it say it? Like the third line down, 512, and then it says like 479, 477. Am I reading that wrong, or is that? I mean, I think that's saying that mine's.
You need to read
yeah.
the indicated value line.
Okay.
Indicated value is starting off with the appraised value adjusted to match your property as closely as possible.
Okay. So they're going back through. So that's not what their actual market value is.
That's the adjusted market value based on differences in their property versus yours. They take that market value appraised for the property,
Right.
and they adjust that to meet this
Right.
house has a pool, they take so much away.
Okay.
You have this, they don't have that, they add those to it to try to get an equal figure across the board.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I mean, and then it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, and that's kind of why we're here. I thought was to show, what my house has different, because I mean, the appraiser does not go in and take pictures and measure everybody's covered patios and things like that. I know he doesn't because he's never come into mine. So I know that those are inaccurate, amounts, and I've already shown that it's inaccurate on all of the sales comps too, because there's pictures on, Realtor.com when the house sold, and it obviously has a covered patio, and it didn't give the value. Also, the pool adjustment, it says $20,000 for a pool. Well, I don't have a spa, and I'm sorry, spas make a big difference on a house, and all those other ones did have a pool and a spa. Mine doesn't. There's no adjustment I see for that on those lines. So I think all the adjustments are inaccurate for the reasons why I said already when I went through the lines. But when you were talking about the sales comps, you were saying that it was superior because the percent was completely off from the comps to my house, but yet the price was increased by $20,000-$30,000 more than what it actually sold for. So that's the actual sold price, but then it was increased by that much more. And if it's that superior to mine, why was it increased by $20,000-$30,000 on every single comp? That it just doesn't jive. And when a house is up for sale, you can see all the pictures. You can see there's not cracks, and you can see that there's not issues, and you can see if the seller paid any concessions for repairs. So the assumption is that the property is in good condition if it's sold.
All right, I understand. Anything else?
Nope.
Can you pull up your sales grid, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna close down the testimony, bring it to the panel for discussion.
Now, the district did make an adjustment on the appraised value. They went 518,379 to 512,869. We start looking at the median on the sales, which was 518. It's right in line with what the median was on sales.
Yeah, if I look at these and the adjusted values, and said median is below, so the subject property is.
Yes, it's below the median. The median's 518. And they changed the revised value of the appraised property to 512,869.
And if you take in comp one is 80% good versus the other that are higher, it's at 519 adjusted. It's the subject property still below that.
And they've made adjustments for the difference in percent good in the other three properties. I think comp one is, it's 30 square foot difference. We're bringing them down to a figure with the minor adjustments that are made there. They both have pools, so there's no adjustment for pool. Or they have a pool or don't have a pool? Am I reading that right? They have a pool. 519 is still higher than the market value, so I'm pretty much stuck on the CAD's revised market value of 512,869. Sweet.
I agree.
I ask a motion, please.
Mr. Chair, based on the evidence presented in our discussion, I move to recommend a market value of the subject property of $512,869.
Mr. Chair, I second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll now move to equity.
When you look at the properties, they were all in the same class adjustment. I think that's what drove the revised estimate from the original notice to what the revised estimate was. So, Mr. Chair, I make a motion based on the evidence presented. I recommend equity value of $512,869.
I second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Let the record show the panel is recommending an equity value equal to the market value of $512,869. And that will conclude this hearing. Duffy, you'll receive a certified letter within the next 30 days.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for making copies of it.
Yeah, I want a refund. Just He needs to stop saying to bring all those copies if you don't need to. Because last year I just came in and they scanned it, but then this year it said you need to bring copies. I was like, okay, right. I know, I gotta find where it says that, but it doesn't seem to matter, so. It doesn't.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good
Have a great day.
afternoon. Okay, so I just finished my protest in Collin County, and the system's rigged. That's all I gotta say. Because there's no way when you present all that evidence and they say the exact same thing, they don't reduce it a penny. I mean, really, it's craziness. And everyone in front of me, there was at least 10 people that were in front of me. None of them, they lowered it either. And some of them had, you know, pretty good cases. So craziness. And you don't need 6 copies either in Collin County. So don't waste your money on all of that. Just go, you know, bring 1 copy and they'll scan it in, but your copy better be really good because their scanner sucks and it is impossible to see, and they wouldn't even look at all the copies I brought. Made no sense. So I don't know, guys. I think we all need to show up at that hearing and make sure that they lower our tax rate, because this is crazy.